If you turn to page 5, Mr. President, of the report, I stumbled on the name of the Secretary to the Federal Government, Engineer Babachir Lawal. And if I have the permission of Mr. President, before I elucidate for just 1 minute, I want to read a phrase there. Mr. President, can I proceed? Roller Vision, Engineering Limited, incorporated in 1990 with RC number 159855 at the Corporate Affairs Commission, Abuja, to carry out information and communication technology services, anchored by Engineer Babachir Lawal. The current Secretary to the Government of the Federation was awarded. Mr. President, I want you to underline with red barrow your own copy. Awarded consultancy contracts for the removal of invasive plant species. That is maybe the species, the plants were removed technologically. I mean, using the instrumentality of computers. In Yobe State, on the 8th of March 2016, although Babachir resigned the directorship of the said company in September 2016, the year of our Lord. Mr. President, I am aware that Babachir Lawal became the Secretary to the Federal Government before this stipulated date. He became Secretary to the Federal Government last year. So, and when this committee started looking at the books, Babachir Lawal, in the fashion of the fastest man in the world, ran to Corporate Affairs Commission and quickly withdrew his directorship of the company after the execution of the contract. Mr. President, and I am appalled that it is on record by this document that as I speak to you, he is still a signatory to the accounts of the company. Mr. President, this contract is not a constituency project. My dear colleagues, within my myopic knowledge, I am aware that going by the budget of 2015 and 16, there is no contract, labeled against the person, the name or company of the Secretary to Federal Government. This is disgraceful. This is abominable. This is diabolical. This is condemnable. This is unheard of. And this is an embarrassment to we members of the All Progressive Congress. Mr. President, Babachir Lawal have exhibited anti-Buhari tendencies. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, one of the finest presidents out of the Sahara, north of the Limpopo, will be rolling in his chair now in anger. Mr. President, yesterday I felt like crying, but today, Mr. President, I want to cry. In solidarity, the Senate President is also crying.
I have a cold.
We are not going to belabor this issue. Though this is an interim report, but the resources of this country belongs to the Talakawas and the Mekunus, and it belongs to all of us. This is gross abuse of office. Mr. President, there is a popular Hausa adage, Gaskiya tafi kobo. The truth is mightier than any currency. And every lie has an expiry date. The lie of the secretary to the federal government have expired. So, Mr. President, from my own exalted position of the senator representing the wonderful people of Kogi West Senatorial District, already there is a clarion call for immediate, just like the judges, for immediate resignation, and after completion of report, prosecution. We are not in a banana republic. Nigerians must not be taken for granted. And Mr. President, the 8th Senate is on test. By this misbehavior of the Secretary to the federal government, the integrity of Dr. Bukola Saraki is on test, is online. The integrity of the leadership of this Senate is on test. And the integrity of every member of this Senate, including Nigerians in diaspora, Senator Bembus, all our tests is on fire. Finally, Mr. President, I want to believe that no senator here will trivialize. Mr. President, for the third time, will trivialize this issue based on religion, based on sentiments, based on party politics, or based on any paracoising, according to my colleague, Honorable Patrick Obayago. It is not a time for epileptic paracoising. It is time for us to call a spade, and a time for Dr. Bukola Saraki to act. We are watching. My very patriotic colleagues, Dino, Melaye, Kogi, West Senatorial District. This morning, or this afternoon, Mr. President, I draw fresh inspiration from the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, and I draw the attention of distinguished senators to Part 1 of the first schedule of the Constitution of the Federal Republic. Because if our resolutions are seen as mere resolutions, and they said Section 1.3 said, once there's a conflict between any other law and the Constitution shall be supreme. So I read part 1 of the first schedule of the Code of Conduct for Public Officers in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 1. A public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interests conflict with his duties and responsibilities. Without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing, a public officer, if you read it down, so it is not a matter of mere resolution, and this is for the attention of the executive, that failure for him to resign or be announced suspended by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria amount to a breach of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the APC is about respect for the rule of law. We are watching.
Who are the perpetrators of the corruption?
Call for equity must come with it.
Of course, yes, but we are not talking of equity. We are talking about chasing thieves. It has nothing to do with equity. We are chasing thieves. We are chasing people who took away government money, our money.
If you help me see the hunter,